The last session that I remember, I was in the African Skype group, Skype session. The Charles was asking about coronavirus that you have argued with him not to speak of, and in that session, you told Charles, "Have you seen anyone with the coronavirus? Have you seen anyone diseased, anyone sick because of that virus?" And Charles said no. And in that time, I had the same experience. I haven't seen anyone, but I think 1 or 2 weeks ago, I've seen someone with that virus, and I came to this point. Uh, what was your point of asking Charles about this? What do you mean by have you seen anyone with that virus?
Well, it's kind of like this. Yes, what they've done is, you've got the flu out there, colds, you've got cancers, you got chemtrails, you got poisons, the vaccines are poison. You've got all this stuff going on. But all of a sudden, the virus is the big deal, and everybody puts on the mask. The idea is, yeah, I'm sure there's a virus there. But do we want to keep talking about the virus? Because, see, the media and everything and the government has marketed this because they're testing people with the agreement again. That's all it's about. In other words, yeah, I'm sure the virus is there. But, they've done a lot of funny stuff with these ideas because, see, the bottom line here with anything that's going on, before there was, we'll just go back 300-400 years, use the United States and the world as an example. Before there was the United States and all that, which in a very short time, here we are right now, didn't have a lot of this stuff, okay? And where did all these things come from? When you're with the natural environment as it is, and cause and effect, even in cause and effect, these things don't occur. But when there are distortions created, then distortions start to show up. So the deceptors have created distortions, these individuals, a certain few, whoever, it doesn't matter, the bankers, doesn't matter, whoever it is, the reptilians. And as soon as they do that, to control others, all of a sudden, these different strange things start to occur, don't they? Yes, they do. So yeah, I see that. Yeah, there's that there. There's anthrax. There's all kinds of stuff. What happened to Ebola and all these other things that they invented, that they created, etc. Is whatever they're going to get the masses to grip. If you go back to, let's say, about 2015, it was marketed a lot that the chip was coming in 2017. Well, I saw, as I'm on the internet, as I'm on Facebook and whatever, Facebook is like more of the real news and then the fake news on TV. But anyhow, because people tell it like it is, or they have their experiences, or etc. And I saw many videos and people on stage and officials saying, oh, you need the chip, you need this, you need to do this. And they created these commercials like you can walk into a store, you got the chip, you don't even have to go through the cashier. You can just take your stuff and go out. You're automatically charged. Okay, so what happened to that? Well, what happened to that, basically, look at the world. They didn't get agreement. They marketed it the best they could. They put it out there all over, but a lot of people didn't want it, and they saw that. But, all of a sudden, see, they market these things. And what happened to what's her name, Greta, with the Friday stuff with the schools? You see, I see that as a setup to the virus, because as soon as the virus thing came with the mask, she all of a sudden kind of disappeared. You see, this is the world stage that they're using. This is human farming. This is this planet. There's no La La Land here. All of it is human farming. And, any little bit of real awareness that can come in here to try and sneak in, the real guys, the real guys are trying to get some way for people to wake up. But push comes to shove, if they don't want to, there's only so much time. And with all the deception and darkness, most people don't see through the 5 layers of creation. I do. And the thing is that it's showing up just even in the galaxy, the black holes. And it's sucking up planets and stars. And it ain't stopping because of the unconscious agreement to deception and all this nonsense, etc. So, yeah, there's the virus or whatever. I'm sure it's out there. But, that's not the idea. They're just using the virus idea to get people to comply. And you know what? The elites, the Rothschilds, the Queen, or whatever, they sit there and watch their TV sets, and they have their big dinners and cocktails and whatever, and eat children and whatever they eat and whatever they do. And they sit and laugh about the people that are wearing their masks because it's a joke. That's the real part of it, young man. So, yeah, it's there, like anything, like a cold or flu. And if you get it, okay, you got to deal with it or whatever. I've had things worse. Okay, and I dealt with it and I went through it. Or if I just figured that at certain times I'd be destroyed, well, if I'm to be destroyed, fine. But I still have my awareness. That's all that matters. I still have the focus. And so it's developing that. But if people just go into the panic mode of, oh, this is this and watch out for this and whatever, that's all false protection. It's all about becoming more aware. And this is what I've tried to explain to literalized, intellectualized Charles, okay? And that's not a put down. It's just that he thinks in his mind that he can figure everything out with his mind, and that's not so. There's more to it. You have to take the risk sometimes and just do whatever and drive off road like Indiana Jones and James Bond. It's not always laid out for you according to the social systems of so-called everybody will be okay and safe. It's for you. It's for your safety. That's a good one, isn't it? It's to keep you safe. It's to keep you locked up in your mind. That's this whole thing here because it's just gotten out of control. And yeah, it's a lot to see through. And there's a lot of stuff going on in creation. And it's very, very interesting to the personal senses. And very few people see through it. I use the different things here. I'll eat a drive-through once in a while or whatever. Usually I make salads and beans and rice. But it's not about diet. It's not about health. It's not about happiness. It's about awareness. That's first. And if that's not first, you got nothing except that personal self growing old and older until you, once again, forget. I've seen so many people pass over the real side and they're dumb. They are more lost there than they are here. That's the old promise with the Bible in that going to the happy hunting grounds or paradise. They've set up, this is why in the books I call them the designated heavens, because they've already set those cages up for people. That's the bigger Maya. Oh, it's beautiful and it's fun there. But guess what? You'll get bored and you'll feel the initiative. You'll feel the inertia is what you'll feel. And that is that all of a sudden, how many times can you go to the party? How many times can you have sex and fun and all these things? How much food and beverage and etc. can you drink until you're so saturated, until you're so tired of it? Well, the next step for these people is they're so bored, then they start killing people. They start watching people kill each other, like the Colosseum games and all this stuff. Then they start torturing people because they're so bored, you see. And then they have parties over that. They have an excuse to have their next party. And you see it all in the movies and everything. It's all displayed. The movie stars are part of it too. They're all part of it. They're part of the front. Why doesn't Trump ever talk about chemtrails or any of these things? You see, I think the other day Trump was saying something about how fake the virus was. He did a little video, but I heard a little bit of it. But I don't care what these knuckleheads say. These people know nothing. They're all deceptors. Everything they say is fallacy. They make up these stories to keep people stupid. But they proclaim themselves as great heroes. And they're not. And Obama, which so many people look to them, he was the biggest murderer of all time. When they did the Al-Qaeda thing over there, that was all fake. Al-Qaeda was already dead. And Al-Qaeda was part of the U.S. government and all this conspiracy stuff anyhow. Well, because they did that and set that up for the people of the world, just like they did 9/11, they also killed all the Navy SEALs that were on that mission because they didn't want them talking. This is what they do. This is the real world. Yeah. And so, again, I'm just reporting the news. I'm not proclaiming this or that. I'm trying to show people how to get through to the real universes where there are no restrictions and no authorities ever. But if you want to stay here and flop around like a fish out of water, your choice. Yes, and I know I talk a lot and say a lot, but the thing is I'm very focused because you know what? There's only so much time and everybody's just growing older. And if you're old now, you're going to wake up one morning, you're going to be older. So if you're 50, 60, 70, snap your fingers, it's gone. The next 10, 20 years, snap of the finger, it's gone. And what do you know when you cross to the other side? You think Harry or the Dalai Lama or whoever is going to be there, or your God or your Savior or Jesus, Muhammad, they ain't going to be there. They're dead too. So good luck. It's you figuring it out now, and you can learn to recognize it so you are okay now. But it's a big journey. It's going to take you the rest of your life and beyond, even if it isn't more lifetimes. But if you keep that focus and that intent, the boys will support you. That's the only way they can, is if you have that sincere, real intent for the isness, for them as the real guides, etc. But if you veer from that, you've decided to drive off the road. It's only up to you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up and sharing. And again, I do this because I'm grateful. I am so grateful to know this and have recognized this and see this. And so I do everything I can to share it because this is how it is. And yeah, it's always taking the risk, but it's that gratitude and sincerity. And you have to recognize your intent. You decide your intent. And this is where I create the new words because they all reference the isness life is. And it is invisible. And you need to recognize it or you don't. And so with sincerity, it's sincerity is really what it is. And to be 100% sincere and grateful, humble, reverent, etc. with this and this focus, this is a real life that, you only yourself can recognize, you decide. So yes, we go through the journey. We go onto the real side, we fly around, we have things, etc. But there's a whole lot more to it. And we have this life here, but actually it's not a life at all. I have no personal life. I'm not interested because there's really no such thing. There is no me. Life is all. It's first. And I'm grateful that I recognize that, and I constantly focus and make that soul decide that for myself. So each person has to decide that. The boys, sometimes they'll give you an experience and they'll bring you to a certain place. And it's just like, dad that went through the university takes his 5-year-old son over there and shows him the university. But that child has to decide if he wants to go that far. He can be shown. And this is where people take the real side experiences for granted. They think that just because, I had an experience with Rebazar or Paul or Gopal Das and this, and they come and sometimes during the nights or maybe even every night, and they this or that. And it's just like the teacher in school can't do the lessons for you. The teacher's there every day, but you decide to do the lessons and learn and recognize what you need to. So yeah, you can have all these experiences and talk about them and flatter yourself and others from the real side. And yes, we do. And that's okay too. Everything is okay. Nothing's negated. But until you can really do it and stand real, because that's what makes you shine more so than the sun, is the recognition of the reality that you figured out. Until then, you've just got ideas and experiences, and that is not what makes you shine. You do have a shine, but what really makes you shine is when you recognize this true reality, you stand real with it, and then you are that all light being. Yeah. So you decide if that's what you want, or you just want to be a happy little chaser here on the earth. Yeah. You decide. Again, it's all human farming. There's no fooling. It's very real. It's all human farming, and that's the crop circles. Those are really cute, so-called beautiful and whatever. No, they're stamps, they're brands like on cattle. In other words, the aliens come and do that, and it's like, this is my section, that's your section. They are cattle brands on the land, is what they are. But the little sheep down below, they don't know that. they think, oh, it's, the little fairies came and did some ornamentation, but no, it's not that at all. So again, it's learning to see beyond the curtain. You decide. So again, it's all for you. And next week, next Saturday, is the UK Skype. So first and third is the Saturday call, the Open Saturday, and then second and fourth is Kevin and that, where he tells a lot of experiences, and Pierce and all the kids. So thank you very much. Again, it's for you. Thank you for showing up and supporting. Again, it's always for you. We're here for you, Duane Ava. Thank you.